Hello, Canon Moppers here with pics of top 5 cleaning supplies. This was a suggested topic that I feel that I should discuss with. Our guest isn't really the best at cleaning, to be honest, but I figured he'd be one to at least brighten things up, in case it gets boring.
The one and only. Can someone escort that dude? Yeah. He's the guy that stole my Butterfinger the other day. Yeah. Oh, is the camera rolling? Hey, I am Tommy. Did any of you guys miss me? I was worried sick.
Glad to have you. Say, before we get started, have you done your research like we promised?
Research? Dude, this isn't school. It's a review and parody. I could just make stuff up as we go.
Fine, I'll trust you on this.
Starting off with number 5 is... It's obvious, guys. The rag. I hate having to use these towel juniors to wipe these things down. Due to the material it is made out of, the tops of the tables or counters that have hair on it, unfortunately, would get stuck to the rag. But if you continue to use the same rag, the hair ends up sticking to the top of the surface you just wiped. Especially when you're trying to wipe down mirrors or windows, it is a huge pain having to deal with this problem.
Number 4 is the toilet brush. This is useful, especially cleaning the monstrosity hiding within the confines of the toilet. But it gets tiring because the manual work, especially for the skinny organisms like me, just isn't much use to it.
Ginger feline? You should maybe go to the gym with me one day. That way you can bulk up and become more used to manual labor.
Wait, but I'm perfectly fine the way I am.
Oh please, you haven't stabbed your own tongue with candy canes. The gym will prevent that.
Since when were you Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Can we proceed?
Oh, yeah, right.
Number 3 is the broom. Honestly, it isn't the best mechanic out there, especially for cleaning. Yeah, it sweeps up a good amount of earth sawdust, but quite frankly, in order to get it all, you would need to take multiple trips from the area you swept with to the trash bin. On average, it takes me 3 trips, unfortunately.
Number 2 is the mop. This corresponds with number 3's spot. If you don't sweep well, then the mop would be useless. The only downside to this is that you constantly have to wring the mop every time you dip it in a bucket of water. Otherwise, the Missouri River would form in your own home. Honorable mentions: Swiffer Sweeper, Mr. Clean, Power Clean.
Hold up a second there.
Is there something wrong?
Is that supposed to be funny? I didn't feel a single haha or hee-hee coming from the depths of my vocal cords.
I'm sorry for not being the class clown you have grown up to be.
Wait, but I figured teaching you a trick or two before we continue on the list. It seems an amateur like you could use one. That way, a bigger audience can understand your humor better.
But what about the list?
Forget the list. We shall proceed to top 5 of being an ultimate comedian. Greetings, viewers! I am Thomas Bartholomew Robertson Bakersfield Michael Jackson the 25th and 3/4, and I'm here to show you, and Canon, 5 of my tips of being a 2021 ultimate comedian. Number 5 is crude and dark humor. I shall teach you on this one first, young traveler. The point of this type of humor is that you want to offend every child and boomer that decides to waste their precious time going on their electronic screens instead of socializing and manning up to the outside world. Using mainly political topics, we tend to milk these and make a joke out of it. That way Twitter could break into our homes without search warrants and decide to cancel us for having fun. Number 4 is referencing. Make sure you use references that everyone can understand. If you decide to make one of a show that no one has ever seen before, then why waste your precious time using your electromagnetic brain cells to come up with that? Number 3 is relatability. A lot of memes nowadays are based on relatable snaz. Once the relatability comes mutually between the jokester and the viewer, you will guarantee to have a little hoo-hee-ha from them. As long as you get the technique right, you will 100% be great at it. Number 2 is ignorance. Make sure you become a rude, cruel beast against your audience as well. The audience loves sadistic psychopaths for some reason. It's kind of why Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and Bryce Gum still exist.
I want to interrupt for a second. I don't want to be rude to the audience. I'm too soft on the inside.
Too soft? So are you saying if some pudgy kid calls you an orange on LSD, you would just let that
I
slide?
tend to ignore insults like that.
What's the fun in that? You have to make sure that people think of you as an alpha. Show them that you have the guts to talk back and defend your own name. Nobody's gonna be on your side if you have the braveness of an introvert.
Look, the point of this channel is to entertain politely. I just want to have a good laugh with people. You know? Violence wouldn't solve anything for me, or anyone in the crew. I just prefer being kind, and I won't change who I am.